Hello and welcome to the Rockies Now podcast. It is episode number 81 of the podcast. We're getting closer to 100 podcasts here on the show. My name is Steven, along with Adam and Tom to my right and to my left. Happy opening day to all the other teams around baseball except our wonderful Colorado Rockies and the Tampa Bay Rays. And Sean is already in here in the comments early. Sean, go Rockies. Let's go. Tomorrow is the Rockies home opener at George Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. So, guys, we're here. We made it after a long offseason. Baseball is officially back. How do you feel? And have you watched any games? I know I'm going to hand it off to Tom here. I know Tom watched his White Sox almost shut out the Angels today in their home opener. So, congrats, Tom. Good for the White Sox.
That was thank you, gentlemen, for the golf clap. I appreciate that. If you're not watching this on the stream or you won't see on YouTube, there we have a nice, lovely round of applause. So yeah, that was a really fun game. Sean Burke was excellent. Everything was good all around, and like you said, we almost had a shutout, but Cam Boozer had it down to 2 strikes in the 9th inning. But and of course, the ball was launched into the seats. But either way, they locked it down.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great victory, especially coming off of the worst season in recorded modern baseball history. But that's in the past. They're moved on with a new manager, so it was exciting and fun. And now, of course, we just gotta see how the rest of these games pan out, and we'll move on to Rockies and Tampa Bay tomorrow.
Yeah, hats off to Miami for getting the walk-off win against the Pirates. That was a game I was expecting the Pirates to win, but this is a fun fact for all those baseball fans out there. The Marlins, their walk-off today was the first time in their team history to get a walk-off win on opening day, which is kind of a shocker because the Rockies have had so many walk-offs on their home openers, and this was the very first time for the Marlins to do so. So congratulations to the Marlins. You probably won't be good this year, but that'll probably be one of their highlights, if not the only highlight. We hate the Marlins over here. No, congratulations to the Marlins over there. That was a little bit of a fun game. Bednar, though, looked pretty rough in that 9th inning. I don't think he recorded one single out. Other games across baseball, the Giants beat the Reds today 6-4. The Reds kind of blew it late there. The Giants won that one. Really good start, though, for Hunter Green. I saw him pitch a little bit today. I think he had like 8 strikeouts today, so hats off to him. We saw Brendan Rodgers a little bit in his Astros debut. I believe I don't think he got any hits, but he was able to get a walk today. So I'm going to double check that here. Yes, so he went over 3, but did have a walk, but he did strike out twice. So we shall see with that. And then the Guardians won in extras over the Royals. I'm trying to see any other games here. The Orioles crushed the Blue Jays today. No big surprise there, 12-2. Really good to see Jackson Holiday on the opening day roster this year. I think he's going to have a big year. I think he's still eligible to win Rookie of the Year, if I'm correct. So we shall see. And then, of course, the Yankees beat the Brewers 4-2. And then there's a couple more games that are going on right now. The Twins and the Cardinals, and then the Tigers and the Dodgers. Right now, the Tigers are up on the Dodgers 2-1. So go Tigers. And then a couple of games tonight, we got the Cubs and the Diamondbacks in Arizona. And then we have the Athletics, just the Athletics versus Adams Mariners. So that's going to be awesome. I know Adam's going to be watching that one. I'll be watching that game. But I told Adam and Tom that I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on the Diamondbacks and Cubs game tonight. I thought it was going to be Burns starting tonight, but it's apparently Zach Gallen. So I was just telling the guys that it kind of gives me flashbacks. We're not going to talk about it, but last year's opening day against the Diamondbacks for us Rockies, we don't want to really discuss that much. But no, it's been an awesome opening day. So really looking forward to tomorrow. That's when the magic is going to happen. So yeah, stay tuned to our social media pages for content. We have another post coming out tonight, somewhat of a series preview, showing you guys the starting pitchers for each team. So stay tuned for that. That'll be out in a couple hours. And then tomorrow, again, we have a full day of baseball. We have several posts, obviously. So again, if you don't follow us at Rockies Now on Instagram, X, or Threads, feel free to do so. We'd love to have you a part of the family. We're closing in on 5,000 followers on Instagram. We have over 800, I believe, and 30 followers on X and over 1,000 followers on Threads. So again, there's a big family over there. Come join us. We'd love to have you part of the family and join the fun Rockies community that we're building over here at Rockies Now. So for tonight's podcast, let's talk about our Colorado Rockies heading into 2025. And over the last, of course, Adam and I, we did our show a few days ago talking about Jones trade. And the following day, we were kind of shocked. The Rockies made another shocking move, maybe not so much for some of the unhappy fans out there, but the Rockies, they optioned Zach Veen to AAA Albuquerque, and there's mixed there's mixed feelings. I feel like all over the fan base. I think initially a lot of people were very upset with the move. I know I was kind of puzzled with it. This guy was the MVP for the Rockies in spring training. He showed a lot of discipline, really good at bats in the spring. Did strike out a little bit, but did show, like I said, discipline at the plate. Walked a little bit more, which was awesome. And it felt like Zach Veen was going to be your right fielder, right, with Nolan Jones getting traded, or your left fielder, and then having Jordan Beck move to right. But no, like that changed, and then almost immediately the Rockies, basically, they made the move of Martini and Bouchard making the opening day roster, and Sam Hilliard was on that roster as well. So you had a bunch of these outfielders, and so there was that question of like, well, why this move? Why that move? And then just yesterday, the Rockies acquired Mickey Moniak. And what's so funny, yesterday when I was making the post, I almost said Mickey Mantle, and I'm not even kidding. So when I was about to hit post, I was like, wait a second, something's not right. And I looked at the last name. I'm like, I almost put. So I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing for the Rockies. Maybe he's going to become the next Mickey Mantle for the Rockies. I don't know. But anyways, the Rockies, they acquired him on a 1-year deal, $1.25 million. So it's a cheap deal. I like that. At least the Rockies, they didn't overpay, which is always a big no-no, especially for a guy that has not performed whatsoever up to his expectations when he was drafted. I believe in 2016, which was the same year that Nolan Jones was traded. Not traded, drafted by the Cleveland Guardians. And then this morning, not a big surprise. Sam Hilliard DFA'd. We kind of saw this coming. We knew that somebody was going to be DFA'd from the roster because to make room on the 26-man. And doing so, I believe, as of right now, I believe that there is one room left on the 40-man roster. If I'm not, please correct me, but who's going to be the 40th person? I don't know. That's going to be something to watch here in camp, or I should say as camp breaks out and we start opening day tomorrow. So again, stay tuned for that. So yeah, I mean, the Rockies are set. The team is set. How are we feeling headed into the season? I guess I'm going to hand it off to Tom here to start off with his somewhat of a ceiling, his floor for the team, and just overall the offseason, I guess, and over the last few days, some of these moves. So, Tom, what are your thoughts?
Well, I know it's I feel a little bad for Sam Hilliard. This could unfortunately be what could cast the end of his major league career because rosters now are set. It's early in the season. Teams aren't looking to add at this point. So I hope he catches on for one last two rosters. Sam, best of luck to you. I really wish you the best. And it was fun having you. It was great having you in the Rockies uniform. It is unfortunate this comes the day before, just before opening day. Mm-hmm. Mickey Moniak, we'll see. I think he's just a person. I think he's just a filler until, someone who we're all waiting and hoping for. I won't say his name to finally get called up, but at the end of the day, so the outfield is not set with the 4 outfielders. You got 2 lefties and 2 righties. So we'll see. I was checking to the 40-man. I'll check that when I'm done talking to give you an answer on that one and see, because I think they just knocked off Hilliard and Moniak took his spot. So I think the 40-man is at 40.
Is that okay?
But I'll double check. Ceiling and floor. Who was it? I was listening to a podcast this morning. I was listening to an ESPN radio this morning, ESPN Chicago radio, and the 2 co-hosts that I like to listen to on a daily basis, David Kaplan and Jonathan Hood, were knocking on who the White Sox competition could be for worst team in baseball. And then, of course, the Rockies and Marlins were mentioned. They were definitely they were definitely a giving grief toward the Rockies. They think it's going to be the Rockies this year. I personally think it's going to be the Marlins, even though they had a walk-off win today. As we talked about in the pre-show meeting, the Pirates do not have the best bullpen, one of the better bullpens in baseball. They have Paul Skeens, that's obvious, but and Jared Jones, etc. I personally still think it's going to be the Marlins, especially if they trade Sandy Alcantara. Again, we don't know when he's going to be coming back from injury. The ceiling, like I said, I predicted this team in our predictions podcast episodes to finish fourth in the division. I think that's the ceiling. So floor for this team, and hopefully, knock on wood, there it doesn't come true, as they don't get the worst record of this season. But also, I hope they do achieve and crawl out of the basement of the National League West. So fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Let's go. Let's take a step forward here, please. Let's try and make some noise in a good way.
Yeah, I want to hear Adam's thoughts.
Well, Nolan Jones was a huge part of my playoff prediction for the Rockies, which now seems a little silly. But you know what? Like I told Steven the other night, I'm still drinking the Kool-Aid, man, because I don't go back on my predictions no matter what. Okay. So, ceiling, in order for the Rockies to do what I expect them to do as far as my playoff prediction, 92 wins. Floor would be like an absolute disaster of a season. Too many injuries to key guys. Senzatella and Marquez are not able to sustain health, after Tommy John surgery. They could be competing with the White Sox for worst if that happens. Or if my worst fear comes to life and Bud Black decides, you know what, I really like Nick Martini in the lineup every day, or I like Mickey Moniak in the lineup every day, and we don't see Zach Veen until like July, and he just does Bud Black things, which I'll leave it at that. But I think the Rockies are going to be really fun and exciting to watch once the right players are in the lineup every day. And I don't see any reason why, they can't. They have the talent to compete. It's just about staying healthy, in my opinion. So they could be a playoff team, or they could be the White Sox of this year. The White Sox don't look so bad on paper, to be honest with you. They really don't. They don't look worse than the Marlins, in my opinion. I think the Marlins are the worst team in the league by far.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm just basing it off of today. I mean, I look at the Angels today. I'm like, again, I know the White Sox. I don't think the White Sox are going to be as bad as they were last year. I think they're going to improve by quite a bit. Honestly, I feel like their starting pitching actually might have strength in there, especially their starters today, who looked really good. And I know it's the Angels, and I know their offense is really relying on Mike Trout and maybe Logan O'Hoppe. But I look at the Angels, man, and I'm like, this is really bad. Like, this is a bad team. Like the pitching is horrible. Kikuchi, he was all right. He was fine, but that's it. Like, there's no other starters, I feel like, in that rotation that's like worth mentioning about. It's like, oh, this guy could be really good. No, I mean, Tyler Anderson, like, what is that guy doing in the big leagues? Former Rocky, I love former Rockies, but Tyler Anderson, man, like, you look at his ERA, it's not good. And so,
well, there's another Tyler that shouldn't be in MLB, and he's on our roster. But anyway, the Angels, as a Mariners fan, I love that they're not good, and they're not going to be good for a very long time. So that's a good thing. But yes, there's a mismatch there of, I don't know what they're trying to do. They have no pitching. And when you talk about Kikuchi as a Mariners fan, he's very streaky. Okay. And he can get in his head very easily. He's one of those guys. He gets frustrated. He gets rattled. So sometimes he looks like a Cy Young winner, and sometimes he looks like Tyler Anderson. It's rough. But I feel for Angels fans, even though I don't like your team. I feel for you guys because, it's rough out there. So,
yeah. But anyways, yeah. So Marlins, they're going to be bad. Angels going to be bad. Are the Rockies going to be that bad? There's two ways of it. I'm going to say no. I think, will the Rockies avoid 100 losses? I'm going to go out and say yes, they're going to avoid it, but they're still going to lose at least 90 games this year. And if you go out and check out my X page, um, I predicted the Rockies. I believe I predicted them to be 65 and 97. I think. So maybe not a huge improvement from last year, but still, like I think we're going to avoid it. And that's my floor. The ceiling for this team is not too far away from my floor. I have the Rocky ceiling right around 70-ish wins and 92 losses. And again, I know that doesn't sound like a whole lot of improvement, but given the division where we're at, and just given where the roster is at right now, I will say this though, we might be looking at a completely different roster in July and August, guys. I mean, we could see Dolander up here, we could see Palmquist up here. Our rotation might be completely different. What if the Rockies now, given the track record over the last few years, the Rockies, they haven't made a whole lot of trades in regards to their pitching. So, maybe they'll hang on to Marquez and Gomber. I don't know. But there is a possibility. And again, I heard on a podcast this morning, the Rockies roster could be very different by July or August. Zach Veen, I think he's going to be up here in the next few weeks. I really do. Unless if, Nick Martini is still on the roster, and either goes two ways. Either he's, not doing, horribly, or if he's doing really well, the Rockies are going to keep him up here. But if Martini is just not hitting whatsoever, if he's like 0 for 35 or whatever, we're going to see Zach Veen up here. Like, there's no way you cannot, have Nick Martini on this roster when he's over 35 and Zach Veen is, 12 for his last 30 in AAA, and he's had like 3 bombs, right? You can't leave Zach down there. Yeah, so I feel like there's a chance, especially with this bullpen, and a lot of people are really excited for this bullpen. I am too. I am a little bit nervous that we're going to overuse them, because that's always a no-no. Whether you're other than the Dodgers, you can use your bullpen pitchers all you want, because the Dodgers have that depth. The Rockies don't necessarily have the depth as the Dodgers do, right? Duh.
And they play at Coors.
And they play at Coors Field. So you just do not want to overuse them. And so that's why you have to rely on your starting pitching, which is kind of scares me. I'm scared. And that's why I'm excited to see Dolander come up here, because they're young, they're fresh, right? Where guys like Senzatella, he's not a guy that you're going to see go in the 7th or 8th inning all the time. Maybe like once a season, he'll do that. Marquez, I'm very concerned about Marquez. He did not have a good spring training, and he's not starting in the Tampa Bay Rays series for a reason. And he's probably going to be pitching 4th. I think he's going to be pitching game 1 against the Phillies next week. So I'm concerned about him. I'm hoping Marquez was not really. I mean, maybe he was just working on stuff in spring training, but I am concerned about it. He just has not looked himself at all, and I'm just afraid that maybe the injury really has hurt him, or either he's just scared. Like I have no clue what's going on there, but I am excited to see what Senzatella does. He did look really good this spring. I mean, arguably, I think he made I know it's spring training, but he made, I think, the best. He had the best, start record, whatever you want to call it, in Rocky spring training history. His ERA, I believe, was under 1, which is fantastic. It's just that you don't want to see that turn into, a 20 ERA or 10 ERA during the regular season. But I am a little bit concerned about that. I think that's going to be one of the reasons why, if the Rockies lose a bunch of games this year, like, 95 to 100 games, it's going to be because of the pitching and injuries and overuse of the bullpen. Offensively, I feel like this team could actually surprise some people. And I know some people are not really high on Moniak. I still think that there's something in there. He's got potential. He's only 26 years old. And he's going to be playing half his games at Coors Field. I think he was a really good prospect for a reason. And given the Angels track record, like we mentioned before we got in here, it's not great. And when it comes to, developing pitchers or hitters over there in Los Angeles, minus a few players that they've had over the years, like Mike Trout. I mean, he was drafted and developed over there. Great. Good job. But I'm intrigued to see some of the other players. Of course, Michael Toglia. That's one of the most exciting guys on this roster. Hunter Goodman, man, that guy could be a legit underrated guy. I feel like he's not being talked about enough. This guy got a home run just the other day to finish out spring training against the Twins. And I think he had 3 or 4 home runs this spring. And you look at the second half last year for Hunter Goodman, he was on fire, man. I mean, he had multiple 2 homer games last year. And I think he had a couple grand slams. Hunter Goodman, man, like he could be a problem. Like I think he could probably be the starting catcher for the Miami Marlins, man. That's how good Hunter Goodman could be. And Hunter Goodman has the power to hit 20 plus home runs. And I think he's going to have that opportunity this year. So I'm excited to see what he can do. So there's a few players on this roster that we're keeping an eye on. Of course, like I said, Toglia, Goodman. And then, of course, we're keeping an eye on Brenton Doyle, who I think is going to be an all-star this year. Same thing with not Toglia. Maybe Toglia, we'll see. Tovar. So, yeah, my floor is 65 wins, and my ceiling is right around 70. So it's a small margin. But I do think the Rockies are going to improve this year, given what we've seen over the last few years here in Colorado. So there's that. So again, if you all want to give us your predictions, your thoughts, let us know in the comments below or on Instagram or on X or Threads. Talk to us. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the upcoming Rocky season, any players you're watching out for that we might have not talked about tonight. So again, let us know. Tomorrow's the big day, man. I'm excited, but at the same time, though, I retweeted this on our X page, but it's that time of year where you are like, what did I post out? I think it was right here. So don't let your baseball team affect your daily emotions for the next 7 months. So just let that out of your mind, and let's try to have a fun year this year. Thinking of opening day, so I think pictures have already been out there of George Steinbrenner Field. They've already decorated it, or at least most of it. I know that they were working on that today, wrapping it up, and that's why the Rockies are playing tomorrow, because they have to get that ballpark ready. Because initially the Rockies were going to be playing today, but because of the hurricane and everything, it delayed the opening start. So I saw some pictures. It looks great. The clubhouse looks great. I think it's going to turn out to be a good game tomorrow. I've heard that it's a sold out game. So that's good for them, but I'm sure there's going to be some Rockies fans in the stands. So that's good news. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not sure about Tom, but it's a beautiful ballpark. I mean, I think I believe the Yankees, is it AA or AAA team plays there?
Double A.
Double A. Okay.
Because the Southern League.
Right. So, I mean, it's a beautiful ballpark, and it's going to be interesting. Of course, they're going to play back at the Trop in 2026, but I'm curious to see what's going to look like tomorrow. We're going to find out tomorrow. But I did see on the the Foul Territory show the other day how it's possible we might be seeing playoff games at that ballpark if the Rays make the playoffs, which I don't think they will, but it's going to be weird to see if that does happen. Playoff baseball in a minor league stadium. It's just going to be weird. Like I said, it's because you have to sell out that ballpark, and there's only like 10,000 seats available, right, or something like that.
Well, that's how many people show up to Rays games anyway. So,
anyways, yeah,
its capacity, its current capacity 11,026. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't. They're not really going to notice the difference, except it's just going to look sold out.
Yeah.
And just correction, Steven. The Tarpons are actually the Yankees single A team. So correction there. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So just make my correction. And so just had to make that one correction that I misspoke.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So again, stay tuned for tomorrow. First pitch at 2:10 Mountain Time, which is kind of threw me off because it's Florida time. I would imagine why not play like 11 a.m. But I guess we saw that like today. There was no games that were like 11 a.m. or 12 p.m. So they're all afternoon starts. So a little bit later this year. Where I remember last year there was a couple 11 games, but.
Here's a quick joke for you. I mean, what's Florida home to? A lot of retirees, so maybe they'll have an early bird special. Maybe the tickets will be an early bird special price.
Yeah.
Sorry, that joke came to my head. I felt I had to get that in there. No offense to Floridians. Sorry, that's not a joke at you in general. I'm just making making a kind of retiree joke. So sorry.
Yeah. Well, Lux has a point. Well, I think it was 2021 because if you remember, they played in Buffalo to start off the season because of the stupid stuff going on in Toronto at the start of 2021.
It was the COVID restrictions thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they had to play in Buffalo. It might have been in 2022.
It was just 20. It was just 21.
It was just 21. Yeah.
It was just 21.
Yeah. So, and again, so we've seen this over the last few years, and of course, we know about the Athletics. They're going to be playing at the Sacramento River Cats.
There will be playoff games there.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like Adam sent in the predictions, man.
Well, I remember there's not on ticker scoreboards. That could be SAC. It's going to be ATH.
Yeah, it should be SAC. I think that's really cool.
But also hot take here. I'm going to post this tomorrow, but I'll give you an early preview. I'm predicting Mark Kotze to win American League Manager of the Year.
I like it.
Great choice.
And in my post, I'm not going to say parentheses ASAC. I'm going to say I have ATH because I put the team abbreviation. Well, it's that's why. Who was it? Some famous another podcast who calls them the Ats.
The Ats. Yeah.
Well, my OCD will be going insane tonight watching that game, seeing ATH and SEA. It's like just put the city name, man.
Yeah. By the way, Adam, just for a shout out to you, not just you, but everybody out there who wants to watch a game tonight. That is the MLB.TV free game of the day tonight too.
There you go. Yeah. And talking about that, let's talk about that because
oh man,
I was going to turn on some games, and all of a sudden, this error keeps showing up whenever I try to play a game, and I don't know if the servers were down or if there was so many people trying to watch the games, which I probably is the case. I don't know, but I watched the first few minutes of, I believe it was what game was that? I think it was the Orioles and Blue Jays game, right when first pitch was about to happen. And then it just went nuts, and I lost. I couldn't watch the game. It was like that for an hour, and so they need to fix their app. And
then as someone who watches out of state games all the time, the Mariners, the app is atrocious. It just is. Yeah. It's been that way for years.
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying you got highlights of last year I saw a highlight for a Rockies Pirates game and it said Guardians against Yankees in the caption. I'm like, dude, no, those are not the teams that are playing. And then it's just the highlights they lag sometimes and there's a huge delay, and it's just they got to fix some stuff on that app, man.
Yeah.
I didn't have any issue when I had Rockies TV last year. I didn't have any issues. I think I had maybe one buffer issue. I think one, but it was fairly okay. But again, different markets and everything. Mm-hmm. So
Rockies TV was great. Yeah. It's the other games.
I was also impressed with the quality. The picture quality was very good too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and Sean had the same issue. I was able to watch Red Zone or whatever they call it. I think it's what do they call it? Is it
Big Inning?
Big Inning. That's right. I like that. They're kind of going that. But it was hard to watch, Sean.
As long as you don't watch High Heat, you're good.
Well,
man, agreed.
But we don't need to talk. We don't need to talk about that guy. I'm just saying I have a disdain
horrible
for that
takes,
man.
by the way.
Same. Actually,
remember, we won't mention his name. Remember, he should be retired like he promised.
He's a coward, man. He's a coward.
Yeah, he's a loser. But anyway,
we need to let people know about this because I got it. Was it yesterday or the day before? So if you have T-Mobile, I have an Android phone. I know Adam and Tom. I think you have iPhones, so I'm the only guy in the room here. So if you have T-Mobile, you can actually, and this is not sponsored, by the way. I wish we were, but you can actually get free MLB TV subscription on T-Mobile. If you have a T-Mobile subscription, you can get that on your device. And so I was able to get that. So that's awesome. So I can watch any game whatsoever. Even the Rockies, despite home games, I will have to find a way to watch home games because they'll be blacked out. Which hopefully MLB fixes in the next CBA or something. I don't know.
Rockies TV, boy, you got to get Rockies TV. I did it.
Pay $99, man.
$20 a month. Just pay $20 a month.
Well,
remember, okay. I might
Well,
do that. We'll see.
Well, Steven, remember, this isn't part of the CBA. Rob Manfred is actively seeking a new television show. Because remember, ESPN and after this season is gone.
Bye.
So, right. So yeah, I'm honestly, I won't miss them. You know,
Nope.
they can go gloat and everything like that. I have a disdain for they're dying. Their market share is going down. They paid too much. Hell, I mean, I heard there's going to be rumor more layoffs. So sorry to whoever does get laid off. I wish it was some of the big, highly paid on-air stars that they have. But go back to my original point. Right now, Rob Manfred is seeking a new TV deal, and he's trying to get it as collective and all-in-one as possible. So keep in mind, whether it's Prime, Netflix,
Apple TV, it's going to be Apple TV,
Time Warner, whoever it is. It could, let's keep our fingers crossed. It could be all-inclusive. Our fee might go up, but the point is you might get all-in-one. So keep that in mind. That's something to keep an eye on for sure. But we'll know. Hopefully in 6 months.
I would like to say, to Tom's point too, I hope it's not Apple TV unless they improve their presentation, because it's also atrocious. So as much as I won't miss ESPN, Apple TV is really bad. It's really bad coverage of baseball.
I don't think you can watch the games for free, because they used to when they started out. You could watch it on their Apple device. Certain games though, I think.
Well, they do give one free game, I think, every 1 month free game, but you do need an Apple TV, or as I have Apple One subscription, so you can access TV though.
Yeah. But I'm just talking about the presentation. It's bad.
Do you like the graphics, the camera angles? What?
It could be
the commentators are awful.
Other than Spilly, because Spilly, I think, is a part of that. Other than Spilly, everybody else is no bueno.
Adam, I'm glad I'm not the only one in the room. No offense, Dontrell Willis, he's not the best commentator.
No
offense.
No,
offense,
he's not.
No offense, D-Train. I mean, sorry.
Anyways,
he has one of the most unique deliveries of all time, and pitching deliveries of all time. But
we're the consumers. We are allowed to say this. Fix it, make it better.
Well, I think the on-air talent, the on-air personalities are in combo with the ones who work for MLB Network. So I think that's how it's divvied up. I could be wrong though, but Oh, and by the way, Stephen, to go back to your earlier point, Jackson Holiday is still rookie year eligible. So he is eligible for the rookie of the year. And so his service time ever. And also, what was I going to say? There was one more thing I put in our private chat.
It was the roster. There's one spot open. And was it Sean? I forget who it was who put it in the comments.
I believe it's Sean who mentioned it. So Sean,
Dolan, or maybe.
Well, hopefully, I'm not sure. I don't think he's Rule 5 eligible next year. I don't believe.
I don't think so.
Not next year.
If he is, get him on there now. Hurry up.
Do it. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So Adam, you allude to $20 a month. I might actually do that. I might actually, without having to pay for the full year, I might just do once a month. And I'll be able to watch it without any blackouts. So I might look into it.
That's what I'm doing, man. That's what I'm doing.
Well, the annual price. Go ahead, Stephen. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, too, I didn't watch this. I think it was on for the first time. I think the last night or this morning. But the new show on MLB Network, the pregame show, the national pregame show. I'm excited for that. I'm glad that MLB Network is adding stuff to it, because we want to see more baseball. Because you talk about the NFL Network. That's the largest, of course, of all the networks of NBA, NHL, obviously. I'm happy they're doing that, man, because we need more eyes on baseball. This is awesome.
Cover all the teams, all the teams,
not just like the big ones, like the Yankees and the Dodgers. I always get so upset with, what's his name? Sherman, John Heyman, like Mark Feinstein. No offense. I mean, I'm not in the position, but it's just
those guys
a lot of those guys are Yankees fans, or like it's very biased over there. We want to hear people talk about the Pirates, the Marlins. We want to talk about the Angels, or the Royals, or the Twins, or the Mariners, or the Rockies. There we go.
I don't know what side I'm pointing to. I never know where my camera is. This one right here. This one.
Unfortunately, Stephen, like I kind of mentioned, that those are all New York reporters. So
yeah, they are, and it's just and the other guy who I have somewhat of a disliking to, that's on Fox. It's not Ken. I like Ken Rosenthal. He's a cool dude.
Ken to me, I think, is if not the best, the second best.
Oh, 100%. It's Tom Verducci. I can't stand that guy. I can't not stand that guy. He is whatever. But anyways, I'm glad that MLB Network is doing that. So yeah, just going back to the subscription thing. If you want to get Rockies TV, pay $20 a month like Adam is, and I might be doing here. go ahead and do that. And I know some people, they might want to do other options. That's fine too. And one nice thing is that I'll be able to watch tomorrow's Rockies game on my phone without blackouts because it's a away game. So that'll be nice. So, and one thing
Drew Goodman needs to give us some money for this. Drew Goodman, if you're listening, we need some of that share, bro.
or he can have us as guest on his podcast.
That too.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That too.
Yeah. We need to have more people on the podcast, like a lot more people, a lot more fun people. We're planning to do that. I mean, it was awesome having Cade Denton on the podcast. And Cade, if you're watching, love you, man. Good luck. And minor league baseball, man, that's starting up in the next week. I think next few days.
2 days.
Yeah, a AAA starting first, and I think AA is next week. So we're ramping up baseball season.
Go win another one, boys. Go win another one.
Let's go.
Well, the White Sox AA team, Birmingham Barons, looking to make another run at the Southern League this year.
I'm excited for Hartford, even Albuquerque. I know Albuquerque.
No question. All of them.
All of them, but Albuquerque especially, because Albuquerque has been pretty bad over the last few years. I mean, they've had, I think, 100 last seasons, kind of like the Rockies have, but now having the chance of having Dollander up there, maybe not for long, but Dollander, some of the top pitching prospect, Gabriel Hughes, I think he's going to start the year in AA. I think Drew Goodman said that on the Rockies broadcast the other day. But Zach, I mean, it's going to be stacked down in Albuquerque, Hartford, all the way down to Fresno, even the ACL leagues. So it's going to be awesome. I'm excited for that. And one nice thing, too, if you have MLB TV subscription and even Rockies TV, you can watch the Rockies minor league games for free. So that's awesome. Like, you don't have to worry about it, because I remember last year I had the MLB TV subscription. I watched the Hartford for free. And I think that's great, because we want to see more minor league baseball, which is great, because I feel like for so long MLB was not treating the minor leaguers right. Now we're getting to see the minor leaguers. We're getting to see the top prospects for our team. So hats off to MLB, and so that we need more of that. So thumbs up to MLB for that. And speaking of MLB, we're now starting to see some new City Connect stuff coming out. We saw leaks for the Astros a few weeks ago. Now that we just officially got released. Then we just saw a leak the other day from the Giants. Their City Connects are very interesting. They're whatsoever for me. They're not great. They're not horrible. And then the Rockies, apparently there was a rumor. Somebody released this on Reddit, and kind of went through Rockies Twitter over the last few days. And again, we're not going to pull it up here, but you can try searching up on X, and I think we might have retweeted. If not, we might try to find that and show you guys. But there was a leak of a Rockies shoe, a Nike shoe, and it had white, somewhat of a pink color, light blue, purple, and it looks. And somebody was saying that it's going to be potentially a sunset type of City Connect jersey, and based off the colors, this could be, I'm not going to go out and say great, but I think this could be a good City Connect jersey. I like the colors, I really do, but also this could look really, really bad. But based off of the shoe, the logo looks somewhat similar to the green City Connect logo. Maybe this font was a tad bit different, but it looks very similar. And I'm fine with that. I love the Green City Connects. I love them. And if they look somewhat similar or have the same feel to it, I'm all for it. I love the yellow. And I think I forgot that's another color that was in there. The yellow, the pink, the light blue. It just
orange. It's an orange, right? Like a sunset thing.
Yeah, I love it. I'm all for it. And of course, there's also rumors of the Red Rocks being in there. We'll find out. But if it's Red Rocks or sunset themed, I'm for it. But just don't make it look like and I know some people are already talking about this. Don't make it look like the Nuggets City Edition jerseys that they have this year. Don't, because that very well could be what the Rockies were doing. So I don't know.
Those are awful, by the way.
Yeah, it's too much white. They should, it's like, instead of white, can't you do like different colors other than white? But anyways, I'm excited to see what they might look like. Again, that's just a leak, but given the leaks, they've been pretty solid. And not to mention the person that posted this Reddit actually correctly, leaked I believe the Astros or the Nationals new City Connect jerseys. So this seems pretty credible. So So far, it looks I like it. I like it. But again, we'll have to wait and see till the full thing gets released, which I would imagine probably not too far away. But yeah, will I be getting a City Connect jersey? Yes, I'll probably be getting a jersey.
We're all going to wear them on the podcast. We'll send Tom one.
Yeah.
Real quick, I didn't know the Giants one got leaked. I hadn't seen that yet. Those are atrocious. What do? They already have a black top.
I think what they're trying to do is it like somewhat of like graffiti look. I told you like I like how they're trying to do graffiti on it, but I think they might grow on me eventually. But right now it's like they're not.
But if you're a Giants fan though, like you already have a black top. That's not what you. That's not what you. That's not what you wanted. At least in my opinion, I'm very hard to please though. So especially when it comes to uniforms, I'm like, dude, what are we doing? So like Nike and the City Connect, it's either like Seattle, Miami, Chicago White Sox, they're all up here, right? And then you got like the Dodgers, who they've missed twice on without getting Hollywood like actually involved in, like, and you got who else is really bad? The Mets, I don't like those ones at all. Yeah, Tampa Bay's up here. Tampa Bay, right? And then
I love Tampa's.
Colorado was up here. St. Louis was down here. Like, it's just like either it's here or it's here. It's never like just like, it's okay. It's like it's great or it's not good at all.
Yeah. Tom, are the White Sox keeping their City Connect jersey, or are they getting new ones?
Yeah, they're getting new ones. They're one of the 8. They're one of the 8 teams that are getting new ones. I posted about it. I'm sad to see both the White Sox and Rockies lose because, like I said, the ones that we just discontinued. Those were definitely easily in the top 5.
Good jerseys.
I put them in. I put both of them in the top 3.
100%. Yeah.
With the white pants, yes.
Yeah. I originally when the Diamondbacks released their Serpientes, I hated them. I was like, this is just too whatever. It's just bland. But now I actually kind of like them, especially if you put them on white pants. I do not like the Serpientes jerseys with the sand pants and the sand. That just looks horrible. I'm sorry, but
that's weird because I don't like it with the white pants. It doesn't look good at all. I'm like, you got to in that situation, the pants have to match. But
another one. Did you mention the Phillies? Because the Phillies one, I'm not.
No.
Yeah, the Phillies. I'm not a big fan of that one. Originally, I was like, okay, but it's just like, why yellow and why blue? Like, can't you do like red, white, and blue? Some of the theme or something like that. I don't know. Or just do like a Fanatic type jersey. And this is what I've been saying for a couple of years now, because there's been talks about the Red Sox getting a new City Connect jersey. Do one of Wally, like the Green Monster, or do a Green Monster themed one. That would be awesome. Like do a green Red Sox jersey, because I know for several years, of course, over the last year or two, I don't think they've been wearing their green uniforms during spring training because they'll wear their green uniforms on St. Patrick's Day. Of course, they discontinued that. I want to see a green Red Sox jersey because, come on, it's their team.
They're keeping the City Connects from the old ones, and they're retiring their navy tops, and they're getting another City Connect on top of it.
Okay, so I love the navy blue Red Sox uniforms. Those are
so do I. Those are sweet, dude.
I don't know why they're getting rid of them, but we'll see.
And I don't know, Nike, if you're listening, someday when we're a lot bigger, please bring back the black vest for the Rockies.
I had one more jersey because I think you can have, was it 4 or 5 jerseys in your collection? Is it 4 or 5? I think it's
4.
I expanded to 5 because there's, I think, up until a couple years ago, there were some teams that had 5 or 6 combinations. So it's just like, do that, have at least one. And like we said on the podcast, was it Adam and I, the last one of a couple of weeks ago, the Rockies black is a part of the color and we don't have a black jersey. Put black on it. I mean,
and the Giants have 2. The Giants have 2 black tops now.
Black jerseys. And then the White Sox, they have a black jersey. And there's 2, really 3 colors to the White Sox. You have gray, white, and then black.
The White Sox have beautiful uniforms in general, though. They really do.
They do. And the Rockies do too.
5.
The Rockies could have arguably the top 5 jerseys if they had black in there. Now it's just like,
maybe if they change the font on the purple top too, because they just have to at this point. But going back to the City Connect, some more bad ones. The Twins. Oh man,
I like those.
The Tigers. Oh man. No, stop doing this.
I like the I like the Twins more than the Tigers. I will say that. I like the Twins. I don't know. I like the yellow build. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I do like the North Star on there, but at the same time, though, it's not like you're the Stars. You're not like. But I,
So I do like the Philly ones. I like the difference of the blue, and I love the Liberty Bell on the top of the cap.
I like the Liberty Bell. It just I wish it was different colors.
But while we're talking about uniforms, I wish, obviously, we don't need to get into a whole long because we all agree that they should bring back as Adams wearing the jersey sleeve, the dark jersey sleeve ones.
Yeah.
Back from the early 2000s. But I gotta tell you, they need to do Players Weekend again. The Players Weekend uniforms, because you got the nicknames, the colors. I like they should do. MLB needs to do that again.
Last year was so bad. It's like, why do Players Weekend at all? Like, it was just like the numbers on the side and then just
the cleats.
The cleats. I'm like, that's like, I didn't notice the difference. I'll be honest, I didn't notice the difference. I went to a Players Weekend game against the Padres at Coors Field. Didn't notice the difference. It's just like, please bring it back. Like 2020, I know 2019 was the last year where they actually somewhat did, nicknames and all that. But if you look at the 2019 jerseys, they were white and black. Like where's the creativity, man? Like, you go back to 2017, 2018. Oh my goodness. Those jerseys were so like my favorite Rockies Players Weekend jersey was 2017 when we were playing against the Braves in Atlanta. Oh my goodness. The gray and the purple, like the light, that was just chef's kiss, man. Like
I think we wore those against the Cardinals too when Matt Holliday came back.
Yeah, I think they switched it up a little bit to where it was
that the black
and purple, black and purple, and that was good too. And I think I said Rockies on the front, where and maybe it was 2017 as well, where it said Rockies, but it was like gray and then purple on the sides. But anyways, those were so awesome, and a lot of people, I think they actually for a short period of time they actually sold those jerseys. So it's just, can we bring that back? Like nicknames, it's about the players, not about the money.
Well, it's also about the way for the players in the league to market itself. I mean, for the White Sox, they had black and red. That was awesome.
The fans loved it, and it's just like nobody's gonna want to see. Well, it's just a bat and a cleat, and that's it. It's just like, seriously,
I will buy those jerseys if they release them again.
Well,
I would.
Well, especially it's fun to ask, like when you have a new player who like a rookie, and you ask him like, "Oh, hey, where'd you get that nickname from?" It's a good story. It's a good way to talk.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Every nickname's got a story.
Yeah, like the Trevor Story, Joe nickname. How it gets me every time. I mean, how Mark Reynolds didn't know Trevor Story's name, and he just called him Joe. That was just a really cool story. And then I'm trying to remember other famous Rocky. Of course, what was Cargo just Cargo? I'm trying to remember.
It was just Cargo.
Yeah, and then what was another fun one for the Rockies? I'm trying to remember. Mark Reynolds had a fun one. I forget what his nickname was.
I'm gonna look. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can find it.
I'm sure. I think was it Purple Row or somebody made a list of that several years ago. I'm trying to remember who it was. But
man, you are making me miss the good old days, man. Yeah, Cargo and Story and Tulo and Nolan, not on the same team, but those were. I mean.
By the way, it's good to see Trevor Story playing today, and it's just like after what he's gone through. We're obviously over here at Rockies now.
Stay healthy, man.
Stay healthy, and I'm trying to see how he did today for the Red Sox.
Whenever you're ready, I've got a list of the whole Rockies list.
Let's do it.
Okay,
go ahead. We'll go talk about We'll talk about Nato first.
Okay. Oh yeah, NATO. Yeah, that was classic. It's just NATO. I liked it. It was just.
Why are you doing that? What? Well, obviously Chuck Nazi.
Nasty.
Yeah. What do you guys? Which one? Naruto, NATO. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. What's a funny one? Cargo. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
John Gray Wolf. That's obvious.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Hoffman. Go figure. Hoff. I wonder if David Hasselhoff had a problem with that because people call him Hoff. So
the Hoff. Yeah.
DJ LeMahieu, DJ. Oh, here's an interesting one.
Least creative team in the
I know.
league.
It's just like there was now think of it. There was a couple ones that were like not very creative. Like
Kyle Freeland is free. Carlos Estevez. Does anyone Mike Dunner? That's weird. Or does anyone remember this one? Ian Desmond Sharon. Anyone know that one?
I try to forget everything about Ian Desmond personally.
Well, here's a kind of a funny haha one. Tyler Chatwood, Chatty.
Yeah, I feel like it was now listening to it, it's just kind of bland. Like I feel like was it Scott Oberg had a no, I think it wasn't
Oh,
Scott Obi or
He
something
was
like
just
that.
Obi. Yeah, I'm
Obi
pretty
or
sure.
Obi Wan or something like that.
He's not even on here.
Oh wow.
Oh
I
no,
thought
wait, no, never. He is. It's Obi. Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one. Because of course as a Star Wars fan here, I like that. But yeah, I mean,
Well,
I
here's
thought there was like some really good names on there. Like
Rymel
maybe not.
Tapia. Rymel Tapia was 50.
I like that one. That was more creative. It's just not like Tappy or whatever. It was 50. Like that's
Tappy.
Chris
Tappy, yeah.
Chris Russin was Russ. They called him Russ.
Oh man, I loved Chris Russin, dude.
Remember how
and,
good he was in 2017 and 2018?
He was
arguably
such a solid guy, such a solid pitcher for the Rockies.
Maybe we'll do this eventually. Maybe sometime this year, or maybe in the offseason, do a top 10 relief pitchers in Rockies history. We'll do that.
Well, here. So Steven, real quick to your point, here's four ones to close it out. Hold on, let's see. Well, Luke Roy was Luke. You know, that's an obvious one.
Luke Roy was such a good addition. That was like the only good trade at deadline acquisition.
And Neshek.
That was an underrated signing. And Neshek, yeah, with the sidearm delivery. Oh, yeah, here's so I'm trying to get this down here. So Ottavino, Otto, go figure. And then Gerardo Parra was El Yolo.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And here is the coup de grace, which we were talking about, but it was eluding you, Steven. Mark Reynolds, Sheriff.
That was my favorite one, the Sheriff. I love that one. Of course, as Broncos fans, it kind of calls me back to Peyton Manning, but I just remember Mark Reynolds had a really good one, and I think that was my favorite one. So bringing that, there we go. Adam has the jersey in the back. But yeah, man, like Sheriff, I remember like listening to that nickname, and I was just like, that's a good nickname for Mark Reynolds. And dude, he was so good in 2017. I mean, he was one of the reasons why. I mean, Mark Reynolds, how many home runs? He had like 20 plus home runs that year.
He had an all-star campaign that
year.
Yeah,
he was an all-star. He was a all-star finalist. I think
I want to say 26 home runs off the top of my head, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I remember he was in the all-star finalist competition. I don't think he made it, but I remember voting for him in the all-star finalist for Miami that year.
That's going to be Tolia this year.
Bud Black had him batting he had him batting cleanup a couple of times. Then when Trevor Story was in the lineup, he had him batting before. Actually, because remember Story struggled for a while, so he put him behind Story after him.
Yeah, man, the good old days. I miss.
Hey, but Steve, to go on. I know, man, so many wasted opportunities. But
I missed that core so bad.
I'm gonna go to my happy place now because I'm getting sad. Steve,
would you rather go to misery with the Mariners? I don't want to go to misery with the White Sox at the moment. So.
Ooh, man, that's a good question. But
anyway, go ahead. Sorry,
Steve. Not to do this tonight, but when we do the top 10 relievers in Rockies history, Jose Jimenez, I'll be interested to see where he lands on that list.
We'll see.
Honestly, I'll give a spoiler. I'm gonna put Wade Davis on my list.
I mean, he was big. I mean, he had his moments, but I mean, he was so good at the end of 2018.
Well, if we do that, Houston Street's got to be on the list too.
Of course. Yeah. With that funky delivery and all, come on, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, people knock me a little bit real quick. People knock me, but 43 saves is 43 saves. That's 43
he was lights out, dude, that year. Lights out.
43 saves is 43 wins.
Until the Phillies.
This is a good callback. Sean puts out in the comments. If I remember correctly, it's what was it called? Swattingham.
Swattingham. That's Swattingham.
I love that, man. Mark Reynolds, like. I know he was up there. I mean, he was aging better, but he performed, man. Like at Coors Field, that was just perfect.
I'm gonna look that up. I'm gonna see if I can find the story.
We loved him. We loved him, Steve. Mark Reynolds, as a Rocky.
I mean, and not only that, but he. I think 2019 when he brought him back, that was a mistake. Like, why bring him back? And he was older. I mean, I think he spent 2018 with the Nationals, but I remember it just 2016, 2017. Mark Reynolds, that was. Like arguably close to his prime. I know he had some good years in Arizona before that, but man, that was just, Mark Reynolds was such a underrated signing for the Rockies that just panned out really well.
So
I think he's got something.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm sorry. It's just that I moved away to a different screen, so I can't exactly see it and everything. But I found a Purple Row article that acknowledges the nickname, and on Mark Reynolds' baseball reference page, it does say one of his nicknames is the Sheriff of Swattingham.
Love it.
That is such a good name. Come on, man.
Do you want to hear? There's two more. Do you want to hear?
Yeah.
All right, Mega Mark. So haha.
Yeah.
And then you got Skeletor or Forrest Gump.
Ooh, Gumpy.
So those are the nicknames on Mark Reynolds' baseball reference page for everybody who wants to know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, well, honestly, last comment I'll make about Mark Reynolds, I think he, without a doubt, was one of those clubhouse leaders.
Oh yeah, no, he was one of those guys that Rockies fans adored, and I'm sure his teammates felt the exact same way.
Yeah. Well, speaking of nicknames, this is probably one of the best nicknames in the game right now. The Big Dumpster.
The Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. Yeah. I knew it, man.
We're going to talk about him tonight because I know this has been. I mean, again, I know Adam really wanted to talk about this, and so I was like, you know what, we got to talk about him. 5-year extension, if I'm correct, right, with the Mariners. 6 years with the Mariners. My mistake, but man,
$605 million.
I think that's a great signing. This dude is one of the best catchers in the game. Happy for Mariners fans. And man, I mean, it's because again, I feel like the catching position is just, it's not talked about enough. Again, we talk about the ABS system and how, the framing, that's going to, with the ABS, that's going to change everything. I disagree. I mean, you still have to frame it. You still have to do certain things. And it's just, hats off, congratulations to Cal Raleigh for the contract and for the Mariners front office finally doing something good this offseason.
Well, I mentioned this. Well, we'll bring it up now because we're talking about the Mariners front office. I told Tom and Steve before the podcast, hats off to the Mariners for paying Mitch Haniger $18 million this year to not be in the league, and $12 million to Mitch Garver to not be in the opening day lineup. So hats off to our front office for just being outstanding in everything they do.
Well, for those who wanted them to open up their wallet, they're doing that, just in not always in the right way.
Yeah, well, and just real quick, not to be on a soapbox about the Mariners, they don't have a second baseman, a third baseman, or a shortstop. So I don't know how they're going to compete, or they think they're going to compete. But if they want to, they're going to have to make some changes there for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to do World Series predictions? I mean, we kind of already did our predictions. Do we want to share who we think?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go quick. I'm going to go with Phillies and should I go on a limb here?
Go with your gut, man.
Give me Phillies and Red Sox. This is the Phillies year. Like, you have to win. If not, like, people are already saying that if the Phillies don't do well this year, or if they don't go to the World Series and win it, you're going to start seeing pieces leave the team. I mean, you're starting to see guys age. Bryce Harper's getting out there, Schwarber, Castellanos. So we might be seeing a transition over in Philadelphia. So give me the Phillies and Red Sox, and I'm going to go with this is their year. They have to win it this year. I'm going to go with the Phillies winning the World Series here.
I also have the same prediction. I have an East Coast World Series because last year we had a coast-to-coast East and West. I'm saying we're staying on the East Coast. I think the Red Sox really took some solid steps forward with their roster. They have some guys who can really lead the team. Hopefully Rafael Devers just keeps his mouth shut and plays baseball because he shouldn't have opened his mouth to begin with. So we'll see. But I'll post this for those of you who know. I will post this on White Sox Now tomorrow. But I have Garrett Crochet as my pick to win the American League Cy Young and the Red Sox to win the American League pennant. But to add to your point, Steven, I also have the Phillies winning the World Series because this is Castellano and Schwarber's last year under contract. So I mean, 2022 was awesome, but you got to finish the job.
Bryce Harper still has yet to get a World Series win, which shocks me. All the years he's been in the big leagues, he has yet to have a World Series ring, and I mean, as much as some of us Rockies fans dislike him for what he said about the Rockies a few years ago, but you kind of feel bad for the guy. Same thing with Nolan. He's been dying for a World Series ring, and I hate saying it, but I don't think he's going to get in St. Louis. Could be wrong. But you do feel for some of these players that have been in the league for a long time. Charlie Blackmon, never won a World Series ring here. You feel bad for players like that. And I feel like it would be, I wouldn't say it would be, I mean, I'll go ahead and say it. Actually, it would be somewhat bad for the game for Bryce Harper not to win a World Series ring. But that's just the way the game works. I mean, that's the beauty of baseball. Sometimes there are baseball Hall of Famers that never won a World Series ring, right? I don't believe Mickey Mantle won a World Series ring, if I'm correct.
I believe.
Yeah.
I can tell you one. I know Jim Thome never won a World Series.
Never won a World Series, and here's the Hall of Famer.
600 home runs.
Trevor Hoffman, I don't think he won a World Series ring, if I'm correct. I don't think so.
Don't believe so.
again, if you know in the comments, let us know. If you have any players that
Todd Helton, the great Todd Helton.
Yeah, why didn't we mention him? Shame on me. But
I'm gonna go off the cuff when you come to me, I think.
Okay. Well, the last comment I'll say, it just goes to show you that it's
Don't
hard
you
to
dare say Rockies, man.
It's hard to build a 26-man roster World Series team. It's tough to do.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Alan. The floor is yours. Let's hear off the cuff. Come on.
It's been 32 years since we've seen this matchup.
I'm doing a drum roll, people.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go with Toronto and Philadelphia. I think Toronto. I got Toronto in the playoffs, right? So I think Toronto is going to find something there in that last year of Guerrero's contract. I think they're going to add to the team because they're in desperation mode to try and keep him there. I think that Toronto has good pitching. Number one, they just got to put some stuff together there. I think Toronto and Philadelphia off the cuff, but really, if I'm being honest, it's going to be the Dodgers and the Rangers. The Dodgers and the Rangers, probably.
Yeah. Well, I think we could all agree. I'm not sure, like if you have Dodgers out there in the World Series again, some people might have them repeating. But I just feel like the Dodgers, they're going to have some sort of hangover. But going back to back, it's so hard in the sport. The last time we had a back-to-back World Series champion was in the early 2000s when the Yankees won. Was it 3 in a row?
98. It was 3. 98, 99, 2000. Yeah.
So the last time the Yankees three-peated, or there was a team that three-peated, was the year I was born in 2000. So, yeah, I don't think the Dodgers were. Yeah. They're not.
Well, and one other thing too. Toronto going to the World Series means that Canadians can get some sort of comfort knowing that their country's not going to win the Stanley Cup again because the Avalanche are coming out of the West. So,
or
just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I like speaking of like Canada. I'm excited for next year's WBC. Like, of course, I know U.S. is probably going to go to the finals, and Japan. It's going to be Japan and U.S. It's always is.
Of course,
unless something crazy happens.
Mexico's scrappy now.
They played against Japan in the semifinals.
Yeah,
and, Japan got the walk-up, but Mexico, again, I'll never forget. Alan Trejo, former Rocky, was on that team. Mexico has some really good players. Another team to look out for. I did watch the playing games just a few weeks ago for the WBC. Nicaragua actually has a really good squad. I know it's Nicaragua, I would know, but they have a pretty sneaky squad. I remember they played last year. Was it against Israel? Nicaragua, I think, won. But yeah, like I'm excited for that. Like whenever it's going to be United States and Canada, like just a few weeks ago when we had the nations for hockey, the nations
four-nation face-off. Yeah.
Oh, that was so good. Like
that was amazing.
That just got me excited for the WBC, and it's just I don't really like. It's just people need to I don't like the people that say, "Well, it's risk for injuries for these players." Listen, these players want to do it, man. They want to do it. Like the best in the world. I mean, it's good.
Well, especially the international players, they want to play for their country. It means a lot to them for sure. Yeah. Not that it doesn't mean anything to the Americans, but I mean, these guys in every sport, in football, if they did that somehow, they want to play for their country. They want to do that. So I agree with you, Steve.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
All right. Do we have it? Yeah.
No, do we have fingers crossed that baseball eventually just stay in the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
That's the one thing I'm excited for.
The only difference, of course, if MLB players want to play, there's got to be a break in the season, which they're not going to do.
Yeah. I mean, there's been talk about moving the WBC to like during the off season. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
But I'm okay with it being in the spring. I'm okay with it. I'm either way.
Oh, and don't forget the Cuban team. They're looking pretty good too.
Oh yeah, Cuba. They always have a good squad. It's just that they just cannot get there. It's just still they've always had good squads. Same thing with again, like I said, Japan,
Venezuela.
Yeah, Venezuela. That's another good one. Colombia has a really good roster. I think a couple of years, like 2017, Colombia went to the semifinals. I think we played against them.
And last thing, I think it's I don't know. I'm not sure if this was confirmed, or if it might just still be a rumor. But Albert Pujols, I think, might coach the DR's team.
Dominican Republic. That's awesome. And then I think
that would be awesome.
Yadier Molina. I know he's been a part of that too.
which I think, again, it would be awesome. I think this is paving the way to Albert Pujols becoming a major league manager, which I would love to see.
Oh, 100%. I think I would not be surprised if he comes back in some sort of capacity, be on a coaching staff. St. Louis, maybe.
He's one of those guys, man. He's a legend.
Yeah,
a well-respected legend.
Yeah. Well, as we begin to wrap up here, I do want to mention one thing. And if you guys, other two of you that have one final thing to share before we wrap up, I will say this, that just recently this came out about the Angels clubhouse that, well, it was really the players that offered this to Ron Washington, the manager, but no phones in the dugout. Well, you can still use your phone if you're texting a teammate or your family member or whatever. But other than that, you're not allowed to use your phone in the clubhouse. Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, it was talked about. It was actually mentioned on the White Sox broadcast today about that. Supposedly, players are embracing it. It's kind of created. Well, again, it's Ron Washington we're talking about. He's obviously comes from a different generation, different decade from when he was a player and when he was brought up and come up in the game. So, I mean, it's tough to enforce if it is an actual rule. I'm not against it because it wouldn't be a bad thing to socialize a lot more and not just do this, but I mean, it's an interesting idea to test out, so we'll see how it goes.
I think it's bold to try and do something like that in 2025, but I think it's a good thing. I think there shouldn't be. I think you, as an employee anywhere, you shouldn't have your phone out during work hours. You shouldn't. These kids shouldn't have their phones out at school. Like, there's all kinds of places where this can benefit people, and I know people aren't going to like that, but that's fine. But we do need to Tom's point, we need to socialize more, instead of being in anywhere in the world. Like we go to Starbucks and we have our phone, we're looking at our phone, we're in line, then we talk, and then we're back on our phone. And then, we go to concerts and we're on our phone. Oh, the show starts and we pick up our phone. And then, and then at baseball games, it bothers me too. It's can we just be in the moment and watch the baseball game and stop taking selfies and let's just watch baseball, man.
Or instead of recording on your phone, record it up here.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I record on my phone too, but just big moments. I don't the whole game. I'm not
I'm guilty of that because last year when I was at the Rockies game, I'm a person that takes a lot of pictures, just the videos and everything. But for this opening day, because next week I'm going to the Rockies home opener. So again, stay tuned to our social media pages. Hopefully we'll be able to come out with content from that when I'm at the ballpark, Coors Field next week. But it's just speaking of it could be anybody, it can be any fan base, any team. But especially for us Rockies, because we know we live in a beautiful state at a beautiful ballpark, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people go to Coors Field just to drink beer or just to hang out with other people.
Yeah, those aren't my people, bro. Those aren't my people.
Watch the game. Why are you there then? There's a bar next to Coors Field. You can go to that one. Why go to the game at all if you're not going to pay attention to the game? I just don't get that. It's a bar, and I just don't like it. And again, that's the negative side of the rooftop. It's a beautiful roof. I mean, I've been up there. Rooftop is absolutely gorgeous. You get a beautiful view of the mountains, downtown Denver, the sky, the skyscrapers in downtown. But it's just you're not there to drink beer. You're there to watch a baseball game, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do. But if for Rockies fans out there, go have fun, enjoy the ball game, get a hot dog. And
stop doing the wave with the bases loaded in the ninth inning.
In the seventh inning, please do not. Yeah, stop doing
when
the
our
wave.
team is hitting, don't do the wave.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't
stop it.
Even when we're pitching.
No.
Just don't do it. Just don't do the wave.
It's especially it doesn't look good in a baseball game. Please stop.
No.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Soccer,
that's another thing, Steve. If you're bored at the game that you need to start the wave, maybe you shouldn't be at the game.
Exactly.
Watch the game. People are always like, if you want to go walk around, you want to go do. I'm like, no, I want to watch the game. I'm here for the game. That's it. I'm not here for anything else. I'm here for the game.
Yeah, some of these ticket prices are expensive, and they're just going there to just drink a beer and then leave.
Yeah, you can walk around before or after the game.
Well, you're talking about 90% of people who go to Wrigley Field. Boom! Haha! Mic drop. The world's largest outdoor bar.
Well, and that's the thing too. Whenever I go to Coors Field, I go there for the even after the game, I'll go to the dugout store at Coors Field. I'll look around. I've bought stuff there after the games. That's spending my ticket wisely. and I'm paying, what was it, $60, and that's pretty cheap because we were able to get it like a 20% off discount, because originally where we're going to be sitting at Coors Field is going to be like in the upper deck, getting a view of the it's viewing west, so it's going to be a beautiful seat. But it was originally $80, and $60 was the new price. So we're getting really good seats. But I'm going to spend my money wisely. I'm going to like enjoy the entire time. I'm not just going to look down at my phone. Unfortunately, I kind of have to do it anyways because I have to post highlights. But again, like, just look up, enjoy the game, because it's not.
Post the highlights after, man. Enjoy the game.
Yeah, enjoy the game. I'm going to do that. I mean, people, you can watch your Rockies highlights. Watch us on our pages
for one day. For one day, just enjoy the game, Steve.
I mean,
just enjoy the game.
Baseball is poetry in motion. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Amen,
sir.
brother. Amen.
Go Rockies.
Yeah. Anything else before we wrap up tonight, guys? I can't really think of anything else.
Rockies are going to win 8-4 tomorrow.
Let's go.
We're doing
go
Scorpio.
tomorrow.
I'm going to go Rockies win. I'm going to go 7-3.
I'm going to go low score here. I'm going to go 3-1.
I think.
Okay.
I think
humidity's gonna keep the ball a little bit lower in the ball. I know it's a minor league ballpark, but still, it's going to be a 3-1 game. Humidity is going to be hot down there. It's going to definitely help with the balls a little bit. There might be some home runs. We'll see. But I'm going to go with low score here, 3-1. Kyle Freeland pitches the gem.
I think he pitches 5 innings, and I think he gives up 4 hits, 1 run.
Just don't give up like 16 runs. Like,
oh God, please don't remind me.
I'm getting flashbacks. I'm sorry, I can't help it, man. I'm like,
you just had to. You just had to end it on a bad vibe, man. Come on now.
Yeah, we have over 90 people in here, and they're gonna click out.
I say also one more thing. I'm gonna say Rockies offense hits. I think they're gonna hit at least 2 home runs.
Toglia is hitting 2.
One of them. I was gonna say that Toglia is gonna hit one of them. Yeah,
I think he's gonna hit. Well, we got Pep. We got to face Pepio.
Oh yeah, and former Dodger prospect. He had a good year last year. Pepio. I mean, next to McClanahan, the next guy I didn't want to face was Pepio. That guy is nasty. He has really
it's opening day. Anything can happen. We're good.
Happen. So, yeah. I mean, as we wrap up, again, make sure you're following us at social media at Rockies Now on Instagram, X, and Threads. If you don't follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube, what are you doing? Subscribe to us here on the YouTube channel. And I was surprised, like, guys, we have over 110 followers or subscribers now on YouTube. We are growing. And you can follow Adam and Tom right below. You can see our tags right below our names. Subscribe to us on social media. Follow us. If you have any other Rockies questions, let us know. And if you want to listen to our podcast, as Tom's pointing down below, you can subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And I mean, we're growing, man. We're growing, and we're gonna have fun. Subscribe to me, all that. But no, man, we're growing. We're gonna have fun this year. And again, we're super excited. And by the way, this is going to be our last regular podcast episode until middle of the season, when we do our mid-season review and we do the draft live show, whatever you want to call it, the reaction. And then, so starting on, I believe, Sunday, we're going to be doing our Rockies recap episodes, which
Let's go.
I'm super excited about, because last year we started out just doing singles, and then we realized that's too hard. We can't do every single day. We're just going to do it after every single series. And there's going to be 2 people in these recap episodes. Maybe this first one we'll do 3. We'll see. But we're going to regularly have 2 people on these shows. It's going to rotate between me and Tom and Adam, me and Adam, so on and so forth. So you're not going to want to miss that. Again, subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay tuned for that, because we're going to talk about the games. We're going to talk about everything that happened in the games, talk about hot players. And I guess this is somewhat breaking news a little bit, because Adam and I and Tom, we've been kind of discussing a little bit. Last year, we had something called Pick to Click. And this is one thing I want a little bit more clarification on.
Let's go.
So, Adam, what is it called, and what are we going to be doing? Are we going to be doing it as a show, or is it going to be just for Instagram?
Well, it's going to be called Ready to Rock instead of Pick to Click. Okay. Ready to Rock. Okay. Because
I like the name.
Yeah, because the offense is ready to rock. Okay, so we'll figure out the details. But just a pick to click player for the series or for that day or whatever. But he's going to be ready to rock.
Either way, I'm winning it.
Yeah, last year I think Tom blew me out. Originally, I had a really good lead, but then I think Tom blew me out, and it was awesome though. But I think last year we had over 120 people sign up for Pick to Click, which was awesome. And this year, I think we're gonna have like probably more like upward to 200, maybe 300 people. But
Mm.
you got to look at my iPad, dude. It's full of like just graphs of people's points. So it's gonna be a little bit difficult. It's gonna take some time for me to do these points, but we're gonna have fun, man. So again, stay tuned for that. We might actually, because last year we promised to do a giveaway. Unfortunately, we decided, you know what, we're going to hold off until next year because there are still some people that had 0 or 1 points. And again, we're going to mention the point system once the season starts. But yeah, last year there was still a lot of people that were tied or still had 0 points. So we want to be fair to everybody, that everybody has a chance to earn extra points if your player does this during the game or something like that. So we're going to have fun with it. But anyways, whoever has the most amount of points will be able to win free merch from us and might be a guest on a future podcast episode. So stay tuned for that.
Love it, Steve. Love it.
We're going to have a fun year, man. Rockies now, we're grown. We're going to have a fun year. And so yeah, we're gonna have some fun shows, and of course for Rockies recaps, that's gonna be awesome. And Rockies recaps episodes, by the way, folks, you won't have to worry about those episodes because I think last year our average episode length was about maybe 25, 30 minutes. They weren't very long whatsoever. So we're looking forward to that. So if you're driving on the way home from work, and if you just want to listen very quickly about the game or the series, listen to Rockies Now podcast, listen to our Rockies recaps, and we'll get you all covered. Again, tomorrow is the big day. Wear your Rockies purple to work. Wear your Rockies caps. Unfortunately, at my workplace, I'm not allowed to wear. I have to wear a specific uniform, so I can't. But
rules are made to be broken, Steve. Rules are made to be broken.
I'm gonna have to call my boss. I'm just gonna have to say, "Hey,
I'm wearing my Rockies, hey, listen, bro,
my uniform."
Yeah.
So.
We're going to the World Series this year, so let me wear my hat.
Print out one of those letters that MLB said it's a national holiday and get it.
I need to print. I'm going to print one of those off. I mean, I could have requested the day off, but we'll see. Maybe I will.
Maybe you have a cough coming on, Steven.
Now that you say it, my stomach is starting to hurt now. So I better stop.
I knew it.
It is going around, or it's going around here in Colorado. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for coming on in here. Again, I texted the guys in the chat here. We have over 90 people in here. This is a record for the podcast. You guys are awesome. We appreciate all of you. Again, we're not going to spill the beans here because, again, we know we got to wrap this show up in the next minute or so. But we got something special coming. Let's just say we got notified by a pretty big organization just recently, and this is a tremendous opportunity for Rockies Now. We're still in the talks of it, but we got to make the decision very quickly because I think it's got to be made by. I'm not going to try and spoil it, but we got to make the decision by tomorrow. So we're thinking about it. We're looking forward to it if we can, because if we do, oh boy, watch out because we're going places. And I mean that literally. So you do not want to miss any of the stuff coming up for Rockies Now because we're going to soar up to the Rocky Mountain National Park, whatever you want, Pikes Peak, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to have some fun over here. So again, stay tuned for Rockies Now. We got some content coming out this year, every single day, Rocky stuff. So look forward to that.
Follow Tom and Steve.
Yeah. So on behalf of myself, Tom, and Adam, thank you for listening to this edition of the Rockies Now podcast. We'll see you on Sunday for our first Rockies recap. As always, go Rockies.